Everything you need to know about Counter-Strike 2. Let's start with the basic stuff. Is Counter-Strike 2 a new game? And the answer is yes and no. It is using a lot of the same things CSGO was based on. However, it's been updated to a new engine, Source 2, which is used by a lot of other Valve games. And this means it's still going to feel like Counter-Strike, but it's going to look a lot different, and there will be small changes to the physics and the way the game feels. And can you play Counter-Strike 2 now? Well, the official release date is summer 2023. However, there is limited beta access right now. If you launch the game, it will show up and show you whether you're in the beta or not. And if you're not, don't worry, there will be more beta releases. It'll be released to more and more people as time goes on. Now let's get into the videos and see what we can actually see from Counter-Strike 2. I think all us Counter-Strike fans are so excited. I genuinely feel like a kid on Christmas. I can't remember the last time I've had this feeling. The excitement, the joy, all of it in one. And you're about to see why as we click play on this video. I mean, just look at this. The most striking change is the visuals. They are so clean while still being Counter-Strike. They look more vibrant. They've just been brought to the current generation of graphics, which is incredible. I think especially for more casual fans, this is going to bring people in, and this is what Counter-Strike fans have been asking for a while. As we continue, we're going to see more maps, Overpass here, also with some new models, also looking great. But we're also going to see one of the biggest changes, which is coming to the smokes. Boom. I mean, firstly, how cool do they look? Everything looks so cool. I cannot wait for that. But secondly, the smokes are now exactly the same for everyone. Everyone sees the same thing. There's no more cheesing around the smokes, no more one-ways, no more weird scenarios where you can see them but they can't see you. The smokes bloom exactly the same way for everyone, which is huge. I think it makes the game so much more intuitive. There we go, boys. Volumetric 3D objects, okay? Listen, do I know what that means? No. But I can see what it means based on what I'm seeing on the screen. And I know that it looks the same for everyone. So that is awesome. And this is another cool thing. The smokes now change the way they bloom based on the surroundings. So instead of having the lineup for a smoke where it just kind of goes through a wall, it's going to get blocked by that wall, and it's going to push out further one way or another, depending on exactly how it lands and the objects around it, which is going to make things different. And is probably going to change the smoke lineups and change a lot, which is going to be really fun to keep track of, especially when the game first comes out. There could be a lot of innovation here. I mean, that's also very cool. Just quickly, the way it reacts to lighting here as this player running through the smoke is shooting. You can see it lights up the smoke. And another small note here that you might not have realized is the smokes are different colors depending on who throws them. So this is the darker, almost like a bluey color. It means a CT's thrown it, and you'll see later there's a more slightly orangey color, which means the T has thrown it. So if your teammates accidentally smoke you off, you will now know for certain, and you can call them out on their bullshit. And this is the other thing. If you throw a smoke in a small area, it's going to really spread out like that, because the smoke, in theory, can't, have anywhere else to go. So if you throw a smoke in Monster on Overpass, maybe, that's a small little enclosed area. That's going to spread out way further than if it were out in the open. And that is also unreal. Did you guys just see that? Oh, mate. This is available now. You can have a little shot into a smoke, create little holes in it, and that creates all sorts of chaos. Apparently, the people that playtested this have said sometimes if you're close to the smoke, it can be hard to see through because maybe the shot has been fired too low. Really, really cool. Really, really exciting to see where this goes. And boom. The nade can also get rid of the smoke completely. That could genuinely be game-changing, okay? I know for you guys in your Silver MM games, people are just running through smokes anyway. Now you can actually nade a smoke and run through it. And depending on the timing, if you're standing behind and you're not ready for that, that could be crazy. And it opens up all sorts of options strategically. This could get very, very interesting. You have to remember, as you shoot through the smoke, your shots are still coming. So if someone's on the other side, they are probably going to spam you back. It's still just very, very interesting, though. A couple of small things as well here. You can see at the bottom as you get a kill, you get a little thingamabob. I don't know what to call it, really. But it's just better graphics for when you get kills, which is cool to see. At the top, it says 5v4. Little intuitive changes to the UI that just make it way cleaner and way better all round. Look at that Zeus, by the way. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Ooh, we need 0.5x speed for this bad boy. This is very cool. I like it on the Zeus especially, because it means that, you know, you get rewarded for a little Zeus kill with a boom. And also, you may have noticed, the guy with the bomb, it lights up briefly, weirdly enough. And that's something to keep an eye on. Also, just look at these lighting and shadows and just everything. Everything looks so good. The main one is that now the tick rate is going to be the exact same for everyone. So 128 tick, 64 tick, that's not a thing. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means that anything you see in pro games, you will be able to do yourself. Everything is going to be on an equal playing field, and it should feel way more responsive when you're shooting your guns, which is something we've been waiting for a long, long time. We also quickly have to look at this blood splatter. If you were scared that it was going a bit cartoony, CS2, geez, that's going to take a while to get used to. CS2 is not going cartoony. I know it looks more vibrant and colorful, but the blood is still there, and it looks great. And another note on this is that apparently these blood splatters slowly fade over time. I don't know if that's going to be within a round, that it, by the time you get to the end of the round, is gone completely, but it is something that apparently will be the case, so worth knowing for sure. Here's another thing to note. Look at this AWP shot. I love the little trail of smoke. It's a small quality of life change, but it just looks so cool when you have the AWP shot and the little whew, through the air. You're going to feel like a baller if you land those AWP shots now. Oh, baby. I mean, again, just look at how cool the smoke looked here as this guy runs through it. It, like, pushes a bit of the smoke with him. It just looks amazing. Interesting thing here also, I don't know if this means anything, but you see, as this guy gets the kill, something pops up there, but we don't get to see what the text says. So I'm not sure if that's, you know, anything worth looking into, or whether it's just, I don't know, something they were just testing out. Who knows? Another thing here is that there's these circles on the radar, and I'm not sure if that is when you're shooting, how far you can be heard, because he's shooting in this clip, or what. But there's a few little things there that some people, I'm sure, are definitely going to want to dig into. Oh, and sorry, I forgot the biggest one. The biggest one of all, guys, which actually freaked me the hell out when I saw it. You can see your leg. Oh my god, you can see your leg there. It's so weird. It's so weird. Why is it weird to see your legs? If you're a Counter-Strike gamer, you know that feels weird. It feels wrong. But it's really cool. And it's actually another one of the new features, is the movement now actually tracks when your feet are on the floor and makes contact with every single area you're stepping on. And so as you view player models, you're going to see their feet, and one foot could be higher than the other. If you're up one step, it will actually show that, which it didn't really do in the past. And it also has it now so that in the past, your upper body would not really move. It would just pivot in the same position. Now your arms and your head can move slightly. It's going to make it, I think, maybe more difficult, actually, to always land the shots. It could make it more tricky, but it's going to be really cool to see because the movement is looking way more fluid. Final video is just about the map changes. I don't think there's too much we need to get into, although here's a new loading screen for you. Overpass looking lush, I must say. And this is an important thing. I mean, first of all, let's look at this molly because, oh my god, it is beautiful. The fire looks incredible. Oh, okay, incredible. And secondly, all the maps are going to be the same. It is kind of like an upgraded version of CSGO, just on the Source 2 version. So it is kind of a new game, but it's also kind of not. It's still going to be Counter-Strike in the same way. Here's another great example of the new graphics. In Mirage Palace, look at the lighting, the reflections, the glistening floor. Again, absolutely beautiful, and one of the few things that Counter-Strike needed upgrading, and it's been upgraded. And here's another one you have to watch out for. The water here. firstly, looks incredible. But secondly, they were saying that the people that have playtested this have said that as you step in the water, it actually leaves ripples in the water behind you. It leaves a sort of mark that you've been there. So if someone tries to walk past here and you somehow don't see them, you might actually spot that the water has been disrupted recently and get the information that way, which could be another very interesting thing coming up in Counter-Strike 2. Very cool to see. Some of the maps have been completely remade. You see Monster here. Definitely a position where I wouldn't be surprised if you get a smoke in the middle of Monster, it's just going to land and expand the entire way out through the entire tunnel. But Overpass is looking really cool on this remake. I think it was kind of needed too. I think it looked a little weird before, but all the maps just feel so much more like actual places when you look at them now. They don't just feel like Counter-Strike maps. They feel much more like real places. And this is another big thing. It's going to be way easier for community to make maps and mods and stuff on this new version of the game. It's on the updated Source 2. That's huge. And it also means the developers at Valve are going to be able to make changes much more easily, which is a big reason why they made this change. I mean, just look at this, man. Look at this. Seriously, I don't know how many times I'm going to say look at this, because everything looks incredible. But I mean, look at all the small details here. I mean, firstly, the pillar here on this B site with this little ruinedness nature to it. Like, it looks amazing. You have the site itself. You have the water down below, which glistens as you go through it here. Incredible. And then, I mean, Connector also just looking so much more clean, so much more bright. So much to get excited about, man. So much. So that is all the videos done. However, there's still a few more things I want to talk to you guys about. Firstly, there is obviously this blog post where you can see the majority of the things here. The smokes, expanding, all of this stuff. But there's also a couple of nice images where you get to see the specific recreations and just look at how much better this looks. Fantastic. It looks so good in every single scenario. Here in Connector, boom, so much brighter. Visibility, so much better. It still keeps the feel of Counter-Strike, though. That's something I want to stress, you know? Looks a bit grungy, dirty here. It looks a bit cleaner, but it still looks like CS. It doesn't look like super overly clean. Like, the ceiling here is still a little bit dirty, right? And even just in general, the glossy floor just looks lovely. So, incredible stuff. And that is something with the new smokes. Apparently, all the lineups are going to be changed because of the way the smokes fly in the air now and the way the smokes bloom differently. A large majority of your smoke lineups are going to change, so get ready for that. Oh, and also, I'm sure something that a lot of people were wondering, can you bring your skins with you? Yes, bring your entire CSGO inventory with you, so don't worry. You keep all your skins, you're all good. There's also a couple more things that weren't in the videos that have come to light. First one I want to show is over here on Twitter. As you line up a nade now, you can see this little red line, and you can see where it's going to land. Now, I'm not sure if this will be in the actual game, or just in warm-up, or just in practice, but it's another small, nice quality of life change that I think could help people a lot. And another one here is, there are a few small changes to maps. This fantastic Reddit thread has compiled a lot of them. You can see here, back towards B short, there's this little ledge back there that you might be able to stand on, and maybe you can jump up onto sandbags yourself. We're not entirely sure yet, but we'll see once we get into the game itself. You can see that the flower spot maybe has gone over towards the bottom of the image here. There's a lot of small little changes like this that could come through. The truck has definitely changed. You used to be able to see through the window of the truck when you jumped. Now that is not the case. And there's also a little gap here on the right side where you can probably shoot some feet. So final thing I want to say is just a few of the things that were said on stream that they haven't put in the videos from people who have play tested it. First thing is that the gun sounds have changed quite a lot, and depending on where you are on the map, apparently the gun sounds will be different. They will sound different depending on if you're shooting inside, outside, which is another nice small quality of life change. And there's also apparently a sound when you get kills, which feels a bit weird apparently at first, but I'm sure we'll get used to it. The lobby menu apparently is much better, much more modern. You actually get to see your player character while you're in the lobby, And that means you can also show off your skins when you're in the lobby, which is cool. And your teammates will be there alongside you. You'll get to see them, which is another nice little change. Previously, at the end of the game, you would get a little roll depending on what you did. So you could get, most flashes, enemies flashed, and that's the flasher or something like that. Well, apparently now you get something slightly different, which is a card based on how you did in the game. And it is a slight upgrade, which is cool to hear. And all in all, very excited to see what Source 2 is going to provide going forward. And I finally want to say I'm just so happy that Valve treat their games the way they do. In market and in gaming, it seems like the common thing to do now is just release your game, whether it's half-baked, whether it's unfinished, get people to pay for it, and try and update it and make it good later. But I've always appreciated that Valve take the time and slowly do the updates at their own pace. I think they've already got such a great game with Counter-Strike that they don't need to force things. They don't need massive changes. And it looks like they agree, and they have done everything right here to make sure it is already a great level as it gets released. So seriously, a lot of love to Valve. I'm so grateful for the game they've made. Yeah, it seriously has changed my life in a way that I will never be able to thank them enough for. So I'm incredibly grateful for what they do, and what they're doing here with Counter-Strike 2 looks incredible. You guys should get hyped. Coming summer 2023, get it in your calendar, get playing Counter-Strike. Let's go, baby. I'm hyped.